Well, 2017 has come and 2017 has gone. And holy crap, what a year of wrestling this has been. And my resolutions video that I put out earlier this year, I said that I was going to try to be more open to some of the other brands of wrestling, so like New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, Shimmer, like stuff like that. And this year I tried to watch as much of it that I could. And listen, I was delighted. I was absolutely freaking delighted. In my opinion, 2017 has been one of the best years for overall wrestling that I've seen in a long time. So yeah, with further ado, I'm going to bring to you guys my usual top 5 list of my favorite matches of the year. And this year it's going to include some stuff from some of the other brands. That's right, I have ventured outside of the realms of WWE, and my mind has been blown. All I gotta say though is this is probably one of the toughest lists that I've had to narrow down. This has literally taken me about a week and a half of just rewatching and going over the list and just thinking what's gonna make it into the top 5, and let's just say just crossing some of those matches off was some of the hardest things that I've had to do in a long time. So with that though, as always, remember this is my opinion. It's not gonna match your guys' opinion. This is what I think. Matches that I truly remembered. So if your favorite doesn't make it on the list, hey, you know what? It's okay. You know, we're not all going to agree on that. So with that out of the way, let's get going with this year's top 5 favorite wrestling matches of 2017. Starting with 2 honorable mentions. Low-Key versus Sanjay Dutt. 2 out of 3 falls for the X Division Championship, Slammiversary 2017. So like I said, my knowledge of Impact Wrestling really isn't that great. Said my good friend Roman, who you guys probably know as the co-writer, executive producer for a lot of the segments we do on this show. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel at the bottom, and also his website as always. So he's a huge Impact fan, so he gave me a call one day and said, "Hey buddy, you want to come over watch a little bit of Impact?" So he called me over to watch Slammiversary this year, and I was not disappointed. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. The one match that really stuck to me, of course, is the match we're talking about now, as you guys already saw, but it was the X Division 2 out of 3 falls match between Sanjay Dutt and Low-Key. Just a lot was going on this match. Like I said, I've always been a fan of the whole 2 out of 3 aspect. Even though it's always predictable, you know, each guy will usually win a fall, and then it's always going to be determined by the third fall. But just what these guys did the entire match, like it was just completely clashing styles. Like Low-Key's more technical, and Sanjay's more high flying from what I was seeing. But like just the storytelling that they were doing in the ring was absolutely breathtaking. Like, and me, like as a guy that doesn't really watch a lot of Impact, like I remember seeing these guys back in the day. Like I watched Low-Key in his younger days, and I watched Sanjay Dutt back in his first run with TNA. But just something about this match really stuck with me throughout the entire year. I think it was just the constant battling back and forth, but like overall the storyline heading into the match. Ultimately, like Sanjay did win the match at the end, thus getting the X Division title. But just something about this match just made me keep thinking about it and rewatching it a few times. Granted, there was probably better Impact matches this year, and I am guilty. I didn't watch as much Impact as I would have liked to, but this was the one match that I saw this year that made me like go like, oh, damn. So yeah, it's the main reason why it's on the list, but not like there was just stuff a little bit better than it. But in my opinion, this was my definite favorite Impact match of the year, so that's why it's in the honorable mention spot. Asuka versus Nikki Cross, last woman standing match, NXT. Oh, NXT, how I love everything that you do. Oh, the thing I really liked about this match is that it wasn't even at a pay-per-view. This is just a regular, run-of-the-mill, just a weekly segment match, and it was just, oh, it was so good. The thing that really made me think about this match most was this was the moment where I realized that Nikki Cross is phenomenal. Like I always liked the way that she kind of played her character prior to this match, but after this match, she solidified herself as truly somebody not to mess with in the ring. Like just storytelling wise, just the way that she was able to portray her character. Like I said, I've always enjoyed last man standing matches, and in this case, last woman standing. The thing that made this match stand out the most, though, is that it was not even a pay-per-view. It was just a regular run-of-the-mill match, but like both of them knew that, this is our moment to shine, and they were hitting each other with everything. There was just so many like false finishes, so many hope spots. I'm surprised they didn't die at the end of this match. Like, like just them climbing up to the ladder and then going through the table, and of course like Asuka answering the count like right at the 9.5 mark. But like just both these ladies in this match just put on a hell of a clinic, a hell of a show. It was one of my favorite female matches of the year. Actually, you know what? I think it was probably my favorite female match there. Now that I'm going over the list in my head, but damn, like they just worked their asses off. Like both these ladies deserved everything that they got for this. Like Asuka continued to dominate and put Nikki on the map. So yeah, kudos, ladies. This was definitely one of my favorite matches of the year for sure.
Number 5. The Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship, SummerSlam 2017.
Alright, so last year's SummerSlam was one of my worst moments of the year, and this year's SummerSlam did improve, but the main event, holy crap, like, you have Brock Lesnar, you have Roman Reigns, you have Samoa Joe, you have Braun Strowman, like, just putting just 4 ridiculously talented big dudes in the ring, and all it was just a giant train wreck of just people exploding. The thing I liked the most about this match was the storytelling, essentially. Like I know people are saying, why is this on the list? There were so many other better matches, but just something about this match really stuck with me. Like the fact that like Braun Strowman, like this was the moment of the year in my opinion where like he was like, holy crap, like you don't mess with this guy. Like he took Brock Lesnar out early on in the match, like flipped the table on him, and just like Paul Heyman like, no, are you, no, like even though it was super predictable, like like Brock Lesnar gets carried out and then he finds his way back, and like we all knew that was gonna happen, but just the fact that there was just people hitting each other and like the world stopping and bloodshed and carnage, and like on paper this match should have been boring, but like all 4 of the guys just gave it their all, and it was just so much fun stuff. Like just the false finishes, the hope spots, Braun Strowman freaking manhandling everybody in the ring. I truly loved absolutely everything about it. It's funny because like a lot of people thought that like Brock Lesnar was going to drop the title, but he found a way to win, and that was like, completely blew everybody's minds away. But overall, I'm putting this match on the list mainly because of just everything that was going on in it, and the fact that this is the point of the year where like it really solidified Braun Strowman as a raging badass, and he's going to do nothing but take off from there, and he did. Granted, the match where he lost to Brock Lesnar, yeah, that was, we're not going to talk about that. But other than that, he's still a legitimate badass. But yeah, like just for just the mass amounts of bloodshed, the constant like look on everybody's face while watching this, this is definitely in the top 5 for sure.
Number 4. Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black, NXT War Games.
Oh, once again we got some NXT. Now, on paper, Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black shouldn't make sense. It does not make sense. But when you rewatched the storyline heading into this, it kind of got more intriguing because like they're both such ridiculous characters, I guess would be the best way to explain it. Like the dark mysteriousness of Aleister Black and like the over flamboyancy in your face of Velveteen Dream. Like, so it's like the whole opposites attract thing, and it totally worked, like, in this match. Like, the entire match itself, like they were in it to prove that, hey, you know what, I deserve a spot. Like, just looking at the card prior, you'd be like, okay, whatever, they're both decent, probably just a quick one-off match. But holy junk, like, these guys were just killing it all freaking night. Just the psychology between the two of them. Velveteen's trying to hit Aleister Black with everything he got, and just Aleister Black's not even phasing. Like the one part I like, is where like Velveteen hits Aleister, I forget with what, and he runs out of the ring, and then he's about to climb back in the ring to hit him with a slingshot, and then Aleister Black's just sitting there cross-legged, just staring him dead in the eyes, and Velveteen's like what? The audience ate this entire matchup. Like, there was "this is awesome" chants, and they didn't even need to do a lot to get the audience to eat out of their hands. Like I said, it was just mostly the in-ring psychology between the two of them that made you think, like holy crap, these guys are killing it. And this was like an early night match. Like, this was like, I think, second match on the card that night, and it completely stole the show up until the main event. But like, if I had to pick between the two of them, I decided to go with this one over the War Games match, just because I felt more involved. Like, War Games, there was a lot of guys in that match, which was great. But like, the fact that just these two guys were able to keep me captivated the entire match shows a lot more between them than that. Don't get me wrong, War Games was a great match. It was phenomenal. It barely got cut out on this list, but just Velveteen versus Aleister Black was just something about it. Like, these two guys, from where they were years ago to where they are now, it was something special. Like, Velveteen Dream was cut from Tough Enough, and then he came back with this character, and he's just taken NXT by storm. And just even like after the end of the match, like, after Aleister Black won, and he just picks up Velveteen in the microphone, and he says his name. He calls him Velveteen. It's like, oh, it was like the full circle. It'd be cool if they formed a tag team. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, just the overall storytelling in this match, the in-ring psychology definitely is unmatched throughout all the matches of the year, and without a doubt, this has to be on almost everybody's list.
Number 3. Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, the UK Championship match, NXT Takeover Chicago.
Oh, we're continuing on with NXT because they do no wrong. Yeah! I didn't really get to see a lot of the UK tournament this year. I caught a couple matches. Unfortunately, it just wasn't available during the time when I was watching it. When I tried to find it, I had a very hard time finding a decent quality version of it. But I am familiar with a lot of the guys. Like, I really haven't seen a lot of Tyler Bate in the past, but I'm very familiar with like Pete Dunne a lot, because I really like his style. Like, like Wolfgang, Trent Seven, like, all those guys. So this match, I was like, okay, finally I'll get to see like a UK title match, and like, holy crap, like if you want the definition of a wrestling match, this is without a doubt a wrestling match. Like, these two guys, like, they didn't need high flashy moves. They didn't need, like, to do 10,000 flips. They didn't need just brute power. They take the symbolization of what UK wrestling is, so like heavy grappling, a lot of technical aspects, striking, stuff like that, and they put on just this beautiful, I don't know, harmony of blah 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 Yelp review or some crap like that, but just the match, like, they worked so well with each other. It was truly awesome. Like, just going back and watching this match several times, like the audience they had them locked. Like, 30 seconds into the match, everybody's eyes were on them already. If you can get a "this is awesome" chant in the first minute of a match, you've done something right, and that's exactly what happened with this. Like I said, like, if those of you who aren't familiar with the UK style of wrestling, like I said, it's a lot of old school, like, put up your dukes, but mixed with a lot of grappling and a lot of mat wrestling, and just them showing one another off the entire match was just absolutely awesome. And the thing that I love most about these two guys is their age. Like, Tyler Bates like 20, and Pete Dunne's like mid-20s. Sorry, that's some fluff. If these guys are doing this kind of stuff at their age, think about what's going to happen, like, by the time they're 30, by the time they're in mid-30s. Like, that's one thing I like about wrestling world right now, is that, like, all these young people are just absolutely just phenomenal, like, years ahead of them. Like two people that come right off the bat, in my opinion, both female wrestlers. Rhea Ripley, she's only 20. Toni Storm's 21. And they're wrestling, both of them are wrestling like they've been wrestling for like 20, 25 years. So if this is if this is any sign of what the future holds for this many young people, then like wrestling's in good hands. But Bate and Dunn was definitely like one of the top matches of the entire year as soon as it happened. Like I wrote it down right then and there. I was in love with it, and nothing really surpassed it for like the entire year. Why isn't it number one? You guys will see why it's not number one. This was definitely tough. This was definitely tough. But like just the fact that they're so young and they put on just one of the best matches of the year just shows that the future is in good hands. The UK division is in good hands. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. But yeah, this match, if you haven't seen it, fully check it out. Give yourselves a treat.
Number 2. Authors of Pain versus DIY versus The Revival for the NXT Tag Team Championships, NXT Takeover Orlando.
Oh, why do I love NXT so much? This was a really tough one to narrow it down. Because AOP and DIY and Revival were like the top 3 tag teams in NXT pretty much for like the entire year. And each one of them had so many good matches. Like when DIY lost to AOP, lost the tag team championship, that was a great match. The one where like Tommaso Ciampa turns on Johnny Gargano later on, that was another great match. The reason why I'm going with the 3-way out of these group of matches was the fact that it's the one that involved all 3 teams. I think that all 3 teams deserve to get some credit in regards to just the tag team division in regards to NXT. And it sucks because where the tag team division is now in NXT, not that great. Don't get me wrong. I love Undisputed Era. I love Authors of Pain. I love Sanity. But like this was the heyday. Like earlier on in the year, this was the time. But like the premise of the match, fatal 3-way, but it was an elimination, and that's what I loved even more about it. But the thing I liked the most is that like the entire match, like it was DIY and Revival knowing that, hey, we can't beat the Authors of Pain by ourselves. It's like the whole match, it's them pretty much doing 2-on-1, 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 2-on-1 the entire time, and just Authors of Pain are just kicking out of everything, absolutely decimating the entire freaking match. Just there were so many moments where you thought AOP was going to submit or get pinned. No, like they just found a way to just keep going. It was them not overcoming the odds per se, because they're huge monsters compared to the other two, but it was just the fact that it was the 2 teams that hate each other having to team up to try to beat them, and that's what made it so special. Like the entire match was just like like I was at the edge of my seat the entire freaking time, just thinking like when is this gonna happen? When are they gonna do this? Oh, so good, so freaking good. Ultimately, Authors of Pain ended up winning at the end. And then, of course, Revival made their debut, right after on, the following Monday Night Raw, which was great for them. And then, of course, DIY would break up by the end of the year, and I'm still looking forward to that feud. When Ciampa comes back, shit's gonna rain down, it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I'm picking this match, mainly because, like I said, it was just the storytelling. The storytelling in the match of just these 2 smaller teams trying to take out the big guys by having to work together, and then ultimately not being able to finish the task. But yeah, oh, so good. Oh, the NXT Tag Division, why were you so beautiful back in the day? But yeah, thumbs up, thumbs way up for this match.
Number 1. Every single thing that Kenny Omega has done in 2017.
I know what you guys are thinking. That is not a match. But how can I single-handedly pick one match that Kenny Omega has done? You can't. Every single thing that this man has done this season has been absolutely just breathtaking. It's been phenomenal. Like Okada Omega 1, Okada Omega 2, Omega winning the US Championship, the G1 tournament, Omega versus Naito. Match hasn't even happened yet, but Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega is going to be amazing. you can't take anything away from Kenny Omega. Everything this man has touched this year has turned to solid gold. And I know that it's a cheap cop-out, but I just couldn't do it. I rewatched every single one of those classic matches that he did this year numerous times, and I cannot pick my favorite. And it would be a horrible injustice if I was to pick. If ultimately I could pick them, but then the top 5 of the list would just be all Kenny Omega matches, and how fair is that to all the other matches that I got to see this year? So that's why I just couldn't do it. I just Kenny Omega, just him as a person, number one, done, simple, done. I know it's kind of showing some bias because we're both from the same hometown, and I was able to watch a lot of his matches, like a lot of his pre-fame matches, like just like the independent scene here in Winnipeg. Super nice guy to talk to, super nice guy just to hang out with. Very shy, very shy. I know I've brought that up a couple times, but just everything he does, like the way he carries himself in the ring, the way he interviews, the way that he makes the man, like his moves just look so ridiculously high impact, is just a true testament to where he's come from and like just how he's grown over the year. Everyone's like, oh, well, WWE should say, no. Don't get me wrong, I love my WWE, but he's where he belongs in New Japan. He's a superstar. If he was to move up to WWE, I don't see anything good coming out of it. Vince is just going to go, get it all over his face, and it wouldn't work. But yeah, like, I just can't do it. I just cannot break down the Kenny Omega matches. So my number one pick for my favorite matches of the year, of course, is every single thing Kenny Omega has done. Done. You can't do it. I dare you. Narrow it down. Pick one match. Pick just one match and not have the others on the list. You can't do it. Maybe I'll do like a top 5 Kenny Omega match things and then I'll break them down that way. But just to be fair to have room for everyone else, I had to do it this way. I'm sorry, but y'all have to agree with me. Everything this man does is amazing and it deserves to be number one on the list. Everybody's list. Hands down, everybody's. So yeah. So with that list, gonna do once again the bonus content of this year. So once again, I'm gonna narrow down my favorite feel-good moment of the year and the worst moment of the year. So what? You know what? Let's start with the good. Let's end with the bad, because that's how homie plays it. So let's get it going. My favorite feel-good moment of the year is
Abby Leif's victory over Jazzy Gabbert at the Mae Young Classic.
Now, with the Mae Young tournament, like, just the true sportsmanship after the matches, like, it was just so good. Like, the handshaking before the matches, the handshaking after matches. There was a lot of great ones after this match. Like Kairi Sane finally getting Shayna Baszler to shake her hand at the end of the match. Toni Storm shaking Kairi's hand. Toni Storm and Piper Nevins, just their in-ring chemistry during the match. Like, they're just trying to one up one another because everyone knows that they're really close friends in real life. But the one that really stuck out the most to me was Abby and Jazzy Gabbert. Like, that match itself was just one of my favorite matches of the entire tournament. But I'm picking this moment as my favorite feel-good moment because of the complexity and the way that the storyline works. As those of you guys know, like, Abby Leif was versus Jazzy, total David versus Goliath story. Like, Jazzy was an early pick for most people to win the tournament due to her size and her strength. Her going up against Abby, everyone's like, okay, Abby's done. But, like, Abby just kept battling the entire match, like, just not taking no for an answer. Just, like, this smaller competitor going up against this unbeatable monster, essentially. And Abby was able to get the victory. Like, she pulled off the upset, did very well for herself the remainder of the tournament. But it was the moment when she beat Jazzy Gabbert, and she's, like, in the corner celebrating, and then Jazzy comes in, turns around, just stares her dead in the eyes, and you're like, oh crap, she's gonna tear her head off. Shakes Abby's hand, raises Abby's hand in victory, and points to her, and then they hugged. That is what wrestling is all about. That is what sportsmanship is all about. It was just that moment. like showing that like Jazzy knew that, hey, I was beaten fair and square. She deserves her moment, and that was just truly a beautiful moment because like you could see like the look of fear in Abby's eyes turn to relief, and it was just such a really beautiful moment. Like even like just the match itself was like like wow like you slayed a monster, like nobody thought that she was gonna win that match. Everyone thought that Jazzy was just gonna plow on through the finals and that was it. But it was great. And the thing is, like, Jazzy kind of put herself on the map because of that too. Because like even though she was eliminated in the first round, when she came back later on in the tournament, just to wrestle, just an exhibition match, the crowd was loving every second of her. Like she was so over. It was great. I really hope the WWE signs Jazzy. Like Abby's already signed. She's had a couple NXT matches. She's doing very well for herself. But I really hope the WWE invests in Jazzy Gabbert. Like yeah, she is a little bit of an older competitor, but she's impressive to look at. The crowd loves her, and we need some bigger females in the division. Like like I can only watch Tamina and Nia so much. Like like get a person in there who has the experience. Like Jazzy Gabbert has the experience to take these bigger, like stronger wrestling competitors and make a little bit more out of it. Like think of it if Nia Jax was to be trained by somebody like Jazzy. Like Nia's doing great. Don't get me wrong. Nia is really improved over the year. But if she was to get a little bit of like that mentorship, think about it, and have them as a tag team. Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be so freaking awesome. But yeah. That was my favorite feel good moment of the year. It was definitely just that handshake after. And with the best comes the worst. Oh, well, those of you guys out there know it's probably one of two options. So, my pick for the worst moment of 2017 is
The Ball family segment with The Miz, Monday Night Raw.
like it was a tough call between this or like This Is Your Life Bailey. Reason why I went with this is because this was just inexcusable. Like this was just it had nothing to do with wrestling. Like that's the thing. At least This Is Your Life and the entire Alexa Bliss Bailey feud kind of had something to do with wrestling, and there was like one or two redeeming factors behind the feud. But the whole Ball family thing had nothing to do with wrestling at all. It was just thrown together. It was utter garbage. And the thing that bugs me is like the Miz deserved way better than that. Like the Miz even said in an interview, he went to them backstage prior to it to try to get something going, all right? And like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I know you guys aren't really familiar with this. And he tried shooting some ideas so it wouldn't turn into a train wreck. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. And you could tell. Like, you could tell that the Miz was trying his best to get, like, some repartee going. It just wasn't working. And the fact that the N-word, like, I can't even use, that's, like, the one word in the human language I will never, ever use. English language, just words in general, I can't use it. And the fact that it made it onto TV, like, 3 times during that segment, I'm like, I would have cut that kid's mic. I would have cut the entire Balls family mic after that because of just how stupid. I would have faded to black. We don't need to see this. It was poorly planned, poorly executed, just pure garbage. I feel bad for the Miz because he deserved way better than that, and and he tried, and you could even see in his face after he's like, well, and he left. But yeah, just so bad. It was just so bad. It just didn't need to be there. But, like, granted, This Is Your Life Bailey was as bad, too, but at least it was scripted bad. This other thing was just bad. Just pure bad. Don't get me wrong, they're both utter garbage, but the Ball family segment, I think, just squeaked by barely. But, like, the skin of its teeth was worse than This Is Your Life Bailey. By that much. And there you guys have it. What were some of your favorite moments of 2017? As always, let me know in that comment section below. Make sure to crush that like button and hit subscribe for more great videos. As always, follow us on Twitter using the 2 name tags below, and check out that Facebook page, also listed below. 2017 was a great year, and I'm looking forward to 2018. And it's all going to start with Wrestle Kingdom. That's right. Oh, it's going to be so good. But yeah, as always, this is JP from Kayfabe Chronicles, and I will see you guys next time.